Here are today's top stories. President Duterte calls on Muslims to unite as the BBL awaits the approval of Congress. Malacanang says drug syndicates may be using cost-oriented groups to destabilize the government. PNP Chief De La Rosa reminds policemen to stay alert as Catholics celebrate Holy Week and for the upcoming NPA anniversary. And DENR Secretary Cimatu is set to push through with the closure of Boracay to begin its rehabilitation. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte urged Muslim groups to unite as congressmen fine-tune the Bangsamoro Basic Law or BBL. Here's a report.
Sulu, since time immemorial, has suffered violence every now and then. Walang katahimikan ang tao sa Sulu. So, if there's a way that I can help me make it through the night sa presidency ko, magpasalamat talaga ako. Kasi wala akong ibang hangarin kung hindi bigyan ng kapayapaan ang Moro sa Mindanao.
President Rodrigo Duterte called for unity as Congress decides on the Bangsamoro Basic Law to end the decades-long Mindanao separatism. The president said that provinces like Sulu are beautiful, but there seems to be no end to the violence there. Duterte said he understands the situation and does not harbor any ill feelings towards those who fight the government, but instead hopes for a lasting peace for the Moros of Mindanao. He asked the people of Sulu to scrutinize the BBL, which is still pending in Congress, but expressed doubts if people would fully accept the BBL, considering the differences of many Muslim groups in Mindanao. The president noted that money was not distributed equally in the current autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao setup, which has become a source of misunderstandings. Duterte added that Mindanao's tribes must also be considered in crafting the BBL. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondok.
NGOs and other rights groups are being used by drug lords to carry out destabilization efforts against the government. Palace spokesperson Harry Roque made this comment after DFA Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano claimed that NGOs have become unwitting tools by drug syndicates to stop President Duterte's war against illegal drugs. Roque said drug lords will do their best to discredit the country's war on drugs, which Duterte started when he assumed office in 2016. He also added that drug syndicates have been losing billions with the voluntary surrender of thousands of drug personalities and the closure of secret drug laboratories around the country. Contrary to human rights groups' claim that the war on drugs has caused over 7,000 deaths, the government had said only 4,000 drug suspects were killed in legitimate drug operations. PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa urged policemen to be on alert as the country observes the Holy Week and the upcoming 49th anniversary of the new People's Army. De La Rosa explained that communist rebels have been known to launch offensive actions as part of their anniversary celebrations. The PNP chief instructed regional directors to strengthen the defenses of soft targets like commercial areas, places of worship, and transport terminals. De La Rosa said police units are likewise instructed to double efforts in launching offensive operations against the local insurgents through mobilizing the Barangay Information Network and other intelligence sources in the community to deter CPP, NPA hostilities. The public is also encouraged to report any untoward incidents to the nearest police stations in their areas or through the 911 National Emergency Hotline and itaga mo sa Bato 2286. You may also contact the following numbers flashed on your screens. The Department of Foreign Affairs reported that no Filipino was among the casualties of the latest ballistic missile attacks against Saudi Arabia, which left one person dead and 2 others wounded. This after Houthi rebels in Yemen fired 7 ballistic missiles towards Riyadh and several other areas in Saudi Arabia on Sunday, Riyadh time. Ambassador to Riyadh Adnan Alonto said 3 missiles were launched towards the Saudi capital, 1 missile fired towards Khalid Mushait, 1 towards Narjan, and 2 towards Jisan. All these missiles were intercepted and destroyed by Saudi air defense systems. An Egyptian national was killed and 2 others were injured in the Riyadh attack. Meanwhile, Alonto assured that the embassy and the consulate general in Jeddah continue to monitor the situation. The ambassador said this was the 3rd attack that targeted Riyadh in the past 4 months. Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano said the Philippine government joins the international community in condemning the ballistic missile launches. DENR Secretary Roy Cimatu decides to push through with his 6-month closure of Boracay as recommended by the interagency group which assess the environmental situation of the island. Cimatu said the recommendation was already submitted to President Rodrigo Duterte and is expected to be discussed during the April 5 cabinet meeting. He said the closure could be shortened depending on the actions undertaken by Boracay stakeholders and other concerned agencies prior to the initially proposed closure date on April 26. He added that the Department of Social Welfare and Development will look into the possibility of providing assistance to those who will be displaced in case the closure pushes through. Still to come, the Commission on Higher Education launches the implementing rules and regulations in the free tuition law. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
All the best masterpieces start from one line, and the single line begins with a dot. Here in the Philippines, finding and connecting the dots that may lead to our masterpiece already seems a tough task. Too many needs, and they all seem too big to fill. But will we let any of these stop us? The good news is, the government does not stop at anything. This is why DPWH, DBM, DOF, NEDA, DOTR, and BCDA are all working together for the first time in history. 6 agencies committed to deliver the boldest and most ambitious infrastructure development ever. 6 agencies ushering in the golden age of infrastructure, which we call Build, Build, Build. This is the vision that will help us achieve our goals. And today, we put this vision into action. With the NLX SLX connector, you can go from Alabang to Balintawak in only 30 minutes. No need to pass through EDSA anymore, so you can use your time for more important things. NLX will also get an all-elevated expressway in Harbor Link, providing a 10-minute access from Mindanao Avenue to Commonwealth Avenue. We are also building a tide embankment project in Leyte, Visayas, which will protect communities in coastal areas against destructive storm surges. No successful country is without an efficient public transport system. So we are extending our trains with PNR North that goes to Clark, and PNR South, which will connect Manila to Los Baños. Explore Davao, Surigao, and Cagayan de Oro without the hassle via the Mindanao Railway. The upcoming Mega Manila subway will also help decongest the roads. For Phase 1, we are connecting Quezon City and Taguig, with more still coming down the road. With the BGC to NAIA bus rapid transit system, you can go from Fort Bonifacio to NAIA in only 20 minutes. We are also expanding the Clark International Airport with new first-class facilities. And the smartest and greenest city in the Philippines is also rising in Clark, which we call the New Clark City. a world-class urban development that will solve Metro Manila's congestion problems. These are but a few of the projects that will blaze a new trail for us, with more coming in the next months and few years. Build for progress, because change only starts through action. Build for tomorrow, because our children deserve a better Philippines. Build with us, and be a guardian of transparency through the Build, Build, Build portal. Visit www.build.gov.ph and stay in the know about all of our game-changing projects. Together, let us build the Philippines.
DepEd Undersecretary Lorna Digdinod clarified that senior high school students can graduate and enroll in college even without taking the National Achievement Test or NAT 12. This comes after some private schools insist that senior high school students cannot progress to college without passing it. Digdino explained that the NAT 12 was created as a system of assessment or evaluation of senior high school students after the free college education law was announced. Public school heads and teachers in San Pablo City, Laguna are reminded to lead simple graduation rites which do not require special attire or venue for the ceremonies. City Schools Division Superintendent Susan Oribiana reiterated a DepEd directive enjoining public schools to stage graduation exercises in a simple and less expensive manner to save parents of guardians from financial burden. Oribiana emphasized that all public school officials and teachers should not collect any graduation fees or any kind of contribution for graduation rites, and that they can use their maintenance and other operating expenses in hiring public address system. She also said that graduation rites should be conducted solemnly befitting the graduating students and their parents. A standing DepEd policy indicates that the graduation celebration should not in any way be used as a venue for a political forum, especially with the coming barangay elections. However, local officials are not barred from attending the graduation rites. The Commission on Higher Education has formally launched the Implementing Rules and Regulations, or IRR, of free tuition law in state universities and colleges. Starting June 2018, students enrolled in 112 state universities and 78 local universities and colleges can already enjoy free tuition and fees as instructed in Republic Act No. 10931, or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. Under the Republic Act, enrolled college students need not pay for their tuition, miscellaneous, and similar fees. However, the students should finish their college education within the 4-year time frame. Students are also expected to render return of service while studying and not after college. Disadvantaged students like indigenous people, persons with disabilities, and those from depressed areas are given easy access to free college education through the Affirmative Action Program's provision of the law. Meanwhile, students who can pay for their tuition and fees are welcome to apply for the free higher education provision, but they are encouraged to contribute a specific amount to the higher education institution. Philippine consumer confidence dropped to its lowest level in the first quarter of 2018 because of an expected increase in the price of goods. Result of the Central Bank's first quarter consumer expectation survey for 2018 shows an index of 1.7%, down from the previous quarter's 9.5% and year ago's 8.7%. Respondents expect prices of basic commodities to rise, but Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Assistant Governor Francisco Daquila Jr. said this trend may not be due to tax reform since only one of the 5,569 households nationwide that responded to the survey cited the tax reform for acceleration and inclusion or TRAIN law. Daquila said it is still quite early to establish a trend. Other reasons for the decline in consumers' optimism are low income, rise in household expenses, increase in household debt, occurrence of typhoons and other calamities, and poor harvest. Respondents expect higher spending in the second quarter, particularly on electricity, food, non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages, fuel, water, and transportation. Up next, Bureau of Immigration readies deportation of South Korean swindler. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Ipinaliwanag ng Armed Forces of the Philippines sa naganap na pagpupulong ng Technical Working Group ng TFDM ang mga rason kung bakit mahigpit pa ring ipinagbabawal ang pagpasok sa most affected area sa Marawi City na dulot ng siege. Ang Joint Task Force Ranao ay nagsasagawa ng mga operasyon sa seguridad at suporta upang linisin ang mga lalawigan ng Ranao ng mga labi ng LTG upang makapagbigay ng isang ligtas at walang humpay na pagbawi para sa clearing at rehabilitation ng Marawi City, partikular sa most affected area na binubuo ng 24 na barangay at hinati-hati sa paraang by cluster upang mapadali ang clearing process. Epektibo ng Oktubre 24 taong 2017 hanggang sa kasalukuyan ay patuloy ang misyong ito ng AFP. Ayon kay Joint Task Group Builder ng AFP Captain Julster Cañada, mayroong 100% ng roadnet ang cleared. Nagkaroon din ng clearing at rehabilitation ng Grand Mosque. Sa clearing operations mayroong mga nakuhang mga bomba na hindi sumabog sa kasagsagan ng sigalot. Ito ang 1011 UXO, 117 IED, habang mayroong 70 na GP bombs na ang na-recover. 15 sa GP bombs ay kanila nang na-dispose habang patuloy pa rin ang schedule ng disposal sa mga nare-recover na may 500, 260 at 110 pounds. Ayon kay Cañada, malawak ang effective range ng isang 500-pounder GP bomb. May 650-meter radius ang nasabing bomba. Iginiit din ng AFP na hindi pa rin maaaring pabalikin ang mga residente sa 24 na barangay ng MAA dahil sa delikado pa at para na rin maiwasan ang anumang disgrasya na maaaring idudulot ng mga di pa napasabog at nare-recover na mga bomba. Samantala, kinumpirma naman ni Colonel Romeo Browner ang nasabing paliwanag ni Captain Cañada. Para sa Bayan, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Grab has announced that it has taken over Uber's ride-sharing and food delivery businesses in Southeast Asia, integrating them into its transportation and financial technology or fintech platform. Uber drivers in the Philippines and Southeast Asia must now migrate to the platform of Grab after the Singapore-based company acquired its California-based corporate rivals' operations in the region. According to Grab, the move was initiated to minimize disruption. Grab and Uber are working together to promptly migrate Uber drivers and riders, Uber Eats customers, merchant partners, and delivery partners to the Grab platform. The Uber app will continue to operate for 2 weeks to ensure stability for Uber drivers who can find out how to sign up to drive and grab online. Meanwhile, Grab Philippines country head Brian Koo assured the public that the ride-sharing firm will continue to coordinate with various government agencies and stakeholders to further improve the delivery of services to their customers. Uber Southeast Asian operations will continue until April 8, 2018. The Bureau of Immigration is set to deport 52-year-old South Korean Choi Yong-seop, wanted in his country for fraud. Immigration Commissioner Jaime Morentes said Choi has been on the BI wanted list since July 2013 for overstaying and being an undocumented alien. He added that Choi's passport was already canceled by the South Korean government and has been placed on the immigration blacklist to prevent him from re-entering the Philippines. Former NBA superstar Stephen Marbury and streetball sensation Grayson Boucher graced the Chiang Kai-shek College gym in Tondo to teach kids dribbling and shooting skills, which they call Ball for a Cause. Marbury and Boucher conducted basic ball handling and shooting drills to the young ballers with some members of Alab Pilipinas, which includes world imports Justin Brownlee and Ronaldo Balkman. The basketball camp was conducted for the benefit of Center Juan Edgardo Sani Angaro's youth program, particularly helping out the Don Bosco Foundation. Angara, who is also the chairman of the SBP, also attended the said event and even showed his dribbling skills to Boucher. Some 40,000 to 50,000 spectators are expected to troop to the crucifixion sites this coming Good Friday in Pampanga. San Fernando City Tourism Officer Ching Pangilinan said 13 penitents have expressed their willingness to be nailed on the wooden crosses. He said the 57-year-old painter Ben Enaje would once more play the role of Jesus Christ. This will be the 32nd time Enaje will be nailed on the cross as he continues to thank God after surviving a fall from a 3-story building while he was painting years ago. The first crucifixions will be in Barangay San Juan at 6 a.m., followed by Barangay Santa Lucia at 9 a.m. and Barangay San Pedro, Cutud at 10 a.m. Pangilinan said all the 13 penitents to be crucified on Good Friday are men who had been crucified before. The reenactment of Jesus Christ's crucifixion was originated in 1955 with the staging of Via Crucis, the only Kapampangan piece on the Passion of the Christ written by an amateur, Ricardo Navarro. It was first performed during the Holy Week in 1955 by an amateur volunteer artist of Barangay San Pedro, Cutud. However, it was only in 1962 that the barangay first witnessed an actual crucifixion during the play. Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories. President Duterte calls on Muslims to unite as the BBL awaits the approval of Congress. Malacanang says drug syndicates may be using cause-oriented groups to destabilize the government. PNP Chief De La Rosa reminds policemen to stay alert as Catholics celebrate Holy Week and for the upcoming NPA anniversary. And DENR Secretary Simato is set to push through with the closure of Boracay to begin its rehabilitation. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.